copy of all that. Like, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well,
I've been reading it, but it's a lot of information.
there's a lot of, there's a lot of, there's a couple of meetings. Some groups have had a couple of meetings already, so that's all in.
Okay, good.
So,
I've been reading the emails as they come in.
yeah. Yeah. Are you able to take notes for us?
I can, I like, see, was looking at the format. I mean,
You know that, uh, our meeting is gonna be recorded on YouTube.
oh, okay.
And what I did last time, I just went to the YouTube meeting and I was able to take notes rather than
Take notes while we're sitting here.
while we're sitting here.
That sounds like a great idea.
So I'd rather have you be,
Okay, engaged, because I would be engaged, I wouldn't be able to listen.
yeah,
Oh, that's perfect. I would like to do it that way.
good, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then I won't worry, I'll put this away and I'll do that on YouTube. When does it become available on YouTube?
Tomorrow.
Oh,
It'll be-
perfect. Okay, yeah, I can work on that tomorrow. That shouldn't,
Okay. That's good.
okay. And then I can follow the format. I won't be so,
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. About 6 o'clock. Is June on the Zoom call?
Yes.
Hi, there you are.
Hello, hello.
Hi. Hi. Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the steering committee for the Health of Higgins Lake. And I'd like to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Um, Sorry. Okay, I'd like to take roll call. Jack Bigger here. Jolene,
here.
June,
Here.
and I'm Stan Monjuk. So we're all here. Pat used to be a member of our group, but he was a little overloaded. And so he opted out of the steering committee and is now with the road end committee. What I'd like to do. What I'd like to do is go over the meeting minutes of the subcommittees. And the order will be funding, IT, road end and fertilizer, science, and then septic, and followed by communication. So funding used to be called finance and they didn't like that name, so they decided to call themselves funding.
It wasn't descriptive.
It wasn't descriptive enough for you. I understand that. Yeah. So that's fine. Then let's see, Ed is going to, he's got a septic replacement loan program that one of his folks did some research on. And Ed was telling me that that information is also located on the Garish Township website.
But it is on their site. So, I mean, we can still put it on the HOH-lake.org site, like.
I don't think it's necessary if
Yeah.
it's part of the Garish Township. But what it is basically is it's a loan program. And there's a few tiers that are involved. It has to do with income and But those that qualify can get a 1% loan for up to 10 years. So it's a pretty good deal if you qualify. The other thing that the IT committee is discussing here in their notes is the purpose for the donors. Donors would like to have, or customarily like to see, a purpose for why they're donating to our cause. And part of that is going to be forthcoming when people like the septic committee and the science committee and those committees really get into the nitty gritty. And I think we're getting there. So especially with the road end committee. And I'll talk about that more when we get to that committee's review.
So some of the thought there was that if we ask subcommittees to have budgets, it would start to give them a way to form what they're doing so that they can plan for their activities. And by doing a budget, it would help them plan. And nothing that's onerous or anything, but just, it's good for everybody to have a part, right?
Yes.
And that's the idea. That everybody has a part.
Could I ask for those who are speaking to come up to the table with a microphone? And also for the video, it'd probably be good for the YouTube.
I will if I speak anymore, but I think I'm done now. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just talking for moving forward. Thank you.
All right, next up, we have the IT committee. Ed again. And there's a Nextcloud storage that's available to science and communications.
It's just rolled out. It's rolled out to some people on science, but it's completely rolled out to the communications subcommittee. So we have communications done. We're going to do the subcommittee chairs next. And then after that, we will do the science committee. Part of what we're doing is communications. They had an immediate need, so we're balancing complexity and need. And science has a need very much as well, but they have a very complex setup. So it seemed more important to get those other two groups online first. So we're moving forward. Yeah.
All right. When do you see everybody on?
Probably still a month away.
Okay.
You know, we'll see. We're planning some training for the communications individuals, and we'll have to do the same. And as you and I have already discussed, I'm one person, so I get stretched pretty thin when it comes to all of this.
So it's just going to be the science and communication subcommittees that are going to be on this Nextcloud. That's it.
No.
Oh.
Ultimately, everyone will be on.
Oh, okay. All the committees.
All the committees.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
within a month, or just that is the science and the communications, and
that's science and communication.
I mean,
I mean, if the road end or septic or any of the other committees have an immediate need, I've reached out to a couple of them, not all of them. And they said that they were good now, but I've also gotten some information that situation may be changing. So we'll see what's going from there.
Okay. All right. And can you talk about the Zotero?
Sure. We have a group of 4 individuals from various different subcommittees that are designing and working on a form that people will be able to, and by people, I mean members of the science subcommittee, at least that's the thought right now, will be able to submit documents. And then from there, we will have 3 people that will be curators that will enter the information into Zotero. And then, and this is to be determined, they'll have to be the science subcommittee will have to review each one of these documents and rate it for scientific quality, as June was speaking of in your last meeting. So we have a process. We're still in the infancy of setting up the process. But I'm not just setting that process up myself. I've drawn people from other subcommittees and we're working forward with that.
Okay, so this missile is a little farther out then?
I hope to be able to have this form so that it's available on the hohlake-org site before the end of the summer. Maybe in a month is a little ambitious, but before the end of the summer.
Okay,
And if everything goes perfectly, it might be sooner.
when is the end of summer anyway?
That's a good question. Is it September or? Anything else?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Ed.
Next up is the Road End and Fertilizer Committee. There are several documents that they've submitted. They had a meeting June 26th and another meeting on July 10th. So going over what they've submitted to us. The Roscommon County Road Commission has what they call a 319 grant, and they're reviewing that. And from that, there's my understanding is that there's projects that they need to identify from a criteria that they're putting together. I don't know what the criteria is yet, but they're looking at high priority road ends. And they're also looking at some historical data that different organizations around the lake have on road ends. They're contacting Lyon Township, for example, to get some more additional information from them. Lyon Township does have a complete list of road ends, and they are the road end part of this. It will be identifying a method to calculate runoff amounts for each road end, and from that they'll be able to submit that to the science committee. And once all this is put together, the Road End Commission will be able to create cost estimates and a scope of work. They're targeting 17, at least 17 road ends at this point. Those that seem to be most critical. I'm not sure. I don't have that information, what those 17 are right now.
And the cost estimates are for?
The cost estimates are to build structures or whatever the
Necessary.
Say again?
Whatever's necessary to alleviate the situation.
I'm not sure I don't have the scope of work.
Okay.
You know, they're working, they'll be working on the scope and from their scope determine, you know, what the cost estimates are.
Okay.
They've really been busy. They've, like I said, they had a meeting June 26th, then another one on July 10th.
Never got one coming on the 24th.
Yes. Yes. They do mention here the Saint, let's see, family reading. Is there any other discussion?
What did they mention? Where's that? Where was, oh, is that on the July 10th thing?
What's that?
Notes?
I'm
What,
sorry.
what did you say? They mentioned something?
Yeah, I got.
First item
I
under
got
one there.
sidetracked.
At the top of the page, first item under number 1.
Oh, okay.
Moving on. The Science Committee. Um, At first, the Science Committee was, they have a number of people and they were just recently joined by 2 other individuals. So I believe there's 20 or 21 people in this subcommittee. And originally they were talking about breaking that group up into different subcommittees, but it seems like over the course of the last month or so that things are working themselves out, so they're not going to do that anymore. They're going to stay together as one. They are they speak of using the Zotero software, like Ed just discussed.
Yeah, so they've been part of these meetings, so.
They did create a list of problems that they have here. These are things that they believe are the problems that they're attempting to solve. And if I go through them, the new shore water quality, invasive species, sources of nutrient loading to the lake, groundwater and drinking well contamination, watershed, are what they see as their the hills that they need to conquer. So they will be on the Zotero software, as you said earlier, right?
Yes.
And I appreciate on that note of their list of problems that they're saying that they may want to survey area residents to see what other problems might be important to them as well. So that's great.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that survey is going to happen.
Devil's
Yes.
always in the details. Just it's great that they have that on their radar.
That during the science committee meeting, they decided that they'd throw that over the fence to the communication committee. And the communication committee will be working with the foundation to try to develop a survey.
So you'll be working with the science committee and
The science committee threw it over the fence and said,
Uh,
we're not going to do the survey. Make the communications committee do the survey. So
okay.
their science committee, I mean, they all thought it was a good idea, but they didn't want to do it. So it fell in my lap, and so we're gonna work with the foundation, because Nancy's very interested in doing it as well. And
Okay.
there's somebody at Grand Valley that we might be able to work with, that is in the sociology department, that is experienced at these surveys.
So you can
That's
work with
great.
Higgins Lake Foundation, and who else was it?
It's a Grand Valley that
Oh.
has the
Okay.
the expertise.
Is it too early to talk about what the parameters are and what your,
Yeah, we're
So,
gonna try to figure out what people want
okay,
and what they think the problems are,
okay.
you know. My offhand comment is somebody's gonna say, we need another Dollar General, but, you know, so I'm sure we're gonna get some of that back too, but, yeah, so it's too early to say what's really gonna happen.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Is Brad here? No, no. Okay. All right. Septic Subcommittee. They're going to be meeting on the 18th. And so the last subcommittee meeting minutes I have is from June 18th. Is that right, Jim?
Right.
Okay. All right.
Meeting tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. Um. Now, you're getting data from Central Michigan District Health Department. Yes, please.
Yeah, if it's okay, I'd like to back up just one little step, just to kind of give you an idea what the septic committee is thinking right at this point, and that we've kind of adopted a theme for the septic committee right now, subject to change, but to educate, to evaluate, and then to execute. And as we move forward, we'd like to, and we've started to put together some clips and videos and stuff that's already created. We're going to get that to the communications committee. We'll talk about it tomorrow to see which ones we want to start with, but things like what to do what you shouldn't do with your septic tank. What's the maintenance for it? How long does the septic system last? Just general education about septic systems themselves. And then probably move on a little later into, as it applies to Garrish Township. But for starters, to try to get that on the website, to keep that nice theme going that they've got started. So that's the education piece. The evaluation piece is what you were just asking about. Is we're working with the Central Michigan District Health Department, who is updating their database with the paper records that they have on file, getting those digitized and then entered onto their computers. And so we can know where they have information, and probably more importantly, where they don't. I've got a very preliminary draft of, not a draft, a preliminary, the first crack at their data for the northern part of the township here as to where they have information on a particular property and where they don't. And just yellow is where they don't. It's about a third of, as I've gone through the first couple of batches of this today, there's about a third of the lots up in the high density area in the northern part of the county, of the township, that they just don't have any information on. And once again, that's, in their fairness to them, that's their first crack at it too. They're just getting started. I sort of begged them to give me a copy of it so I could start working on it and see how it would interface with the information that I've got. So it's very preliminary.
Is this
But-
their fetch?
This is in the fetch. This is in their fetch system, yes. They've entered Sue and a bunch of her volunteers have been working with them they finished up Lyon Township and now they've moved over to Garish and they've gone through the files and identified which properties they have information on, entered that into fetch. And now they're going back and opening that file up and going into detail as to what's with that, what's available with that site. Whether if it's a septic report, it would include the size of the tank, size of the drain field, hopefully the proximity to the well, other things that may have came up in the health department's investigation with it. So that process is going along. That's going to take a while now. That's going to take them, maybe till the fall sometime before they get that done. We would like to see as they do it, I'm hoping that they have started in the northern part of the township and the first 12 sections, the first northern 2 miles of the township, to get that information in first. And then we can start with the plan that we're trying to put together right now would be to get a letter off to all these yellow dots that says, we don't have any information on this, and with some background about what we're trying to accomplish, but hopefully we can get people to sign up to go get these inspections done and pick up as many as we can voluntarily before we have any kind of a ordinance in place. The ordinance is still a ways away. I'd like to
Jim,
I'm sorry.
Do you think that the township has information on septics that that the health department does not have?
The township has it? No.
Okay.
We don't have any information about septics here. That's certainly no official information. I don't think there's even any unofficial information.
Okay.
All the information that's pertinent to what we're going to be doing going forward is at the health department. If the health department doesn't have it and endorse it, it doesn't really mean that much.
It's in file cabinets, not anywhere you can access it.
Well, it's been in file cabinets and now it is. And it's just now getting out of the cabinets and onto the computer. So as it goes on, we'll be able to have a better chance to query that information. And, but the township does not have any information
Okay.
like that. As the data comes available, I forgot what I was going to say, as the data comes available, we go through, and as the data becomes available onto the system, we can go in and query and, to find out the sizes of the tanks, working with the health department to make a determination on, what we should be bringing people aware of. And, is it important that we tell them that their drain field is undersized if we find it that way? And what is undersized? We have to make sure that we're on the same page with the health department to know what that is. Is Garish's requirements the same as the health departments, or are we going to look for something more strict? So all that stuff is to be determined. That's stuff that we're talking about now. So that's the second piece of it, was to evaluate where we are and get a pretty good idea of what's out there. And then the third piece of it would be to execute on likely a new septic ordinance. I've talked with the planning commission about it. They're willing to get started whenever we want. I've asked them to just sit tight for a little bit so that we can get a better understanding of what this looks like. And if this plan that I've just told you about comes to pass, then great. But if it turns out that whatever, we come up with here, that this is not the right way to go, then we can adjust before we turn the planning commission loose on something else. So.
You mentioned that 1/3 of the lots, doesn't seem to be any information on septic systems on 1/3 of the lots on the north side.
Yeah.
Is there any thought to contacting these lot owners to find out if they have any?
Yeah. Yeah, that's just exactly what the plan is to take with the data that the database that I have, which started with the assessor's office and got property IDs and addresses and property addresses and names and a whole bunch of other information that I could glean from the information that's around here, and just got a flat file data sheet in Excel. And from that, though, I can do a mail merge pretty quick, and I've identified through the information I got from the health department where we have information and where we don't. So tomorrow I could run you a mailing list for all of these yellow pieces of property and get that ready for the communications people to send off to all those people. And that would be, again, that would be a letter that sounded like at the next meeting, I'll have a draft for you, or before, but a letter that sounds like, here's what we're finding. Here's what the Health of Higgins Lake is looking to do. This is the overall picture of what our group is doing. And as the septic applies to it, we need to have information about all of the properties in the township, and then try to get that mindset to people that want to get involved and voluntarily get their septics done. They'll need to, when they say, okay, fine, sign me up, where do I go? There'll be on the website a list of authorized septic inspectors. We're going to start with the list that they used over in Lyon. I've got the list. It needs some vetting. It has a lot of people. We need to go and call all of those people to be sure they have any interest now. Lots of them were from down Old 27 down to Clare and Harrison and Mount Pleasant. And I don't know if if they're still interested in coming over here or not. We need to have that conversation with them. So we'll get a list prepared of those that are interested, and then and make sure they all understand what our requirements are going to be. How do we want these inspections carried out? For example, in Lyon, they were not asked to or mandated that they turn the water on in the house and see it run into the septic. I don't know yet if that's a good idea, or it sounds like a good idea. Is it a practical idea? Is it important? We're discussing that as to whether or not we want to, change our criteria a little bit to get that data or get that information in there. So people, they can turn on the wash tub in the laundry room and be sure that's running into the septic, not running into a dry well someplace. You can't do that if there's nobody home, though. And
that was a common practice.
oh yeah, that's
Dry well for like non-sewer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gray water just goes out in the woods someplace. And once again, what's the criteria? Is that bad, or is that I can't imagine it's good, but is it acceptable? And so we want to make sure that we take a position on that and we decide what that's going to be. Once again, stuff we're talking about. But if we can get people to, then they would call up one of these inspectors. These inspectors will have a list that they need to go by. They need to use this list to do the checklist. And then when they're done, they typically will collect for the whole effort, a check, get paid by the owner, and then go back and prepare their report. Sometimes that can be done right online because they've got an interface with, they did last year. Whether they're going to have it again or not is up in the air, but they have an interface with Fetch GIS so they could enter it right into the system. And then they, from there, they finish up the rest of their paperwork and send a copy to Holton Lake or to Mount Pleasant. Then along with the fee that the health department uses to do the work they need to do, which is get it in under their system to review it. And they say they review the inspector's report, and the inspector has some comments that said, this is a problem that can be addressed easily. And maybe the health department feels that it needs to be addressed, or it may say it's fine, we don't worry about it. sometimes they'll say, I need a riser on top of my septic tank. That's today's practice. That's a good practice. In the past, it hasn't been used. It just gets covered over with dirt and a little harder to find, but it still works fine. So they may not require that. If they do, it'll come back with a rejection and the notice will go to the owner. He will get the correction made and send it back down to the health department. Or in most cases, you'll probably just get the report filed and now we'll have it on file and that'll be that. And now these yellow dots start going away. These yellow parcels start going away because they're going to turn into properties that we have information. And to the extent those all go away, we'll have that much better idea on where we go going forward. If the health department doesn't approve it, if for example, somebody goes out and has their brother-in-law come up from the city and do an inspection for them and said, there we go. We've got our inspection, and they try to send it to you or to me or something. That's not acceptable. It needs to get the health department records updated. That's the interface here between us and them. Those two have to be melded together.
So all these inspectors that you've identified, you have a list of inspectors and they're all qualified with the health department?
They were, yes, they were in Ion and that list that I've started with. So they would have to be approved by the health department. Yes.
How many do you have on that list, do you think?
Oh, that list was probably 30.
Oh.
Well, it was 30, but some of them were like 3 or 4 people from the same firm.
Enough
So
to do
maybe
it in a
20
timely
firms.
fashion.
Sorry?
Enough to do it, people to do it in a timely fashion, if people are willing.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
And
Frankly, I was going to go through that list and do what I could to vet people off from it, except for people that are pretty local. I don't see where it's practical for somebody from Mount Pleasant to, but if they say, no, that's what I do and that's what I want, and they can convince us that it's the right thing to do, then okay. But yeah, the 2 local firms up here did 95% of the inspections for line. That's about where we are. The education, we want to get these clips out there. I got to talk to Sue about what the best way to do that is. And then we want to get that coming along. So it's got a nice flow to the rest of whatever's going on. And then the lion's share right now is of course the evaluation piece of it and getting this inspectors list together. So,
I need to back you up a minute.
Yep.
I missed the part that you were going to get to Sue. Can you repeat that?
The EPA has got some, I didn't think I mentioned that. The EPA has some really nice clips that they've put together about what to put in your septic and what not to put in your septic and, how to maintain it and how often it should be pumped and lots of, maybe there's a dozen of them on there that are already done and available. They're made for the public to disseminate. And we want to get those either maybe a few of them up front. And then every month we add some new ones on to gather that interest, or I think that would be a better way to do it than put them all on at once. This way you can tell people, yeah, there's new data on the website about septics and
So that's part of your education.
that's the education piece of it. Yep.
Yep.
And I don't know exactly what your plans are for how the overall website is. If we've got a piece on it for the septic committee, and each of the committees has its own piece that falls in under the umbrella that you are all looking after here, then we want to make sure we get it in the right spot. Obviously, we're going to have the communications committee do it. We're not going to do it. So get them so that it gets done
I
right.
hope it's embraced, the whole process by the public.
Yeah, I sure hope so. That's kind of the key thing we need to do is to make sure that you know, in everything that we say, off of this a little bit now, but everything that we say and do, you know, people are watching, and there's people that are gonna be, that are not that crazy about what we're doing, and there are a lot of people that really think it's a great idea, and they're all behind it. But given somebody an opportunity to take a crack at what we're doing, they're gonna take us up on it, and so we gotta be sure that our overall perspective, our overall look at the health of Higgins Lake has got, you know, a consistent exposure and a consistent message. And, you know, and we're all careful about what we say and saying the stuff that we're working on, the good stuff that we're working on, and don't get off on tangents that we don't belong on, and give
Well,
people.
that's just fodder for thought
Yeah, you give,
when you do that.
I've got, it seems like I'm a magnet for that lately. I haven't even said stuff and I still get blamed for it. So, you know, it's out there, and, but for the majority that I've talked to people in the last month, there's been nothing but positive, and everybody is very much on board. We have more people. We've had a couple people that had to leave for personal reasons, but we've had more people want to join what we're doing, and we'll have more as time goes on. So sorry, I got kind of off onto different tangent there, but
Good talk.
um, that's pretty much where the septic committee sits right now. We've got a meeting tomorrow, and we're gonna keep cranking through it.
Yeah, right now, all the edges on what we're doing here, they're not solidified yet. You know, we're still trying to figure out
Yeah, absolutely.
where we're going.
We're
So,
just getting started. I mean, we've
Yeah.
been at this for a couple months, and
Yeah.
so just getting
And we're
going.
being scrutinized every meeting.
Yeah.
Important to do it right.
okay,
Okay,
thank you.
but
Thank you.
Next up is the Communication Committee. Wonderful press release. I have it here. I'm going to frame it. And it went to it went to a lot of magazines and papers and so forth all around northern Michigan. So I'm not, I saw it in the Resorter. I'm not sure if anybody else picked it up. Are you aware of that? Oh, you are?
Last week's or this week's? A couple weeks ago.
I know we're having okay. Yeah, please.
Hot seat.
So you were saying that it also got air on 9
It
and
got,
10
it
News?
got a 9 and 10 News. It was in several different places that it made it out and about.
Good,
Yeah.
good, good. Any feedback on these publications yet?
I didn't get any feedback now.
Okay. Okay. I see that a lot of people involved with Eagle and other science type people also in government also received copy of this.
Yep.
And I do know that there's going to be an open house
There
coming
is.
up on Saturday.
Saturday, there's an open house. We're planning for 75.
Wow, good.
I've not done this before, but one of my committee members, Jenny, has, and we have a confirmed 23 that are coming. And she said you always triple it if the public's invited, because those were people who received actual emails and being invited and asked to RSVP.
Yeah.
So it doesn't include all of the other places that we've advertised.
Let's see. Got the 19th. Oh, this is the to-do list in preparation for your meet and greet. It's on the last page.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that we're in process. Mary Jo has been very helpful with helping with things from the Garish Township as well.
That's good, deal. That's good. I don't have any other questions. Does anybody?
No, very good. Good job.
Good.
I have a question for you. I need a process in terms of like when Jim sends me what he wants to put up on the website. Or if the science committee or somebody else gives me something that they think is ready for the website. Do we pass it through you guys first? And
I
then,
think so.
okay,
Yeah,
all right, so they need to send it to me and you. And then when you guys approve it, then we'll put it up.
That sounds right.
All right, okay,
Yep.
okay, good.
I rather it come from you though.
What?
If there's some communications that need to happen, that you take a look,
Okay,
um,
I can do that.
you know,
Okay, and
kind of a gatekeeper.
that's not a problem. I can do that. So then the other question would be, do I just send it to you or do you want me to send it to the four of you or
Oh, you can send it to the four of us, please.
all four of you? Okay, I can do that.
Good.
I also would use any feedback or direction on what you would or would not want, or what you would, anything else that you would want to see on the website. We can certainly, make those alterations and changes.
And the website is on, did you say Facebook?
No, it's an actual website.
Website,
It's
okay.
hoh-lake .org.
Okay,
So it's an actual website.
yeah.
I also have yard signs for anybody in the audience or here that wants to take one home and put it in their yard.
Is that
I
it?
would, but I live at the end of a dirt road that
Yeah,
nobody
no, you
goes.
don't need one.
Back in the boonies.
I'd like to take one.
Oh, my car.
Okay.
I'll take one next time I'm there.
All right.
That wraps up. Are there any comments or questions, that we can entertain right now? Anybody?
Things are moving and they're speeding up a little every week.
I've got a couple. Talked about the meet and greet coming up on the 19th. I was to the Higgins Lake Foundation presentation on July 8th regarding invasive species. What an eye opener. If anybody has a chance to see that, it's just incredible. Some of the photographs that were taken of what's going on in the lake, at the bottom of the lake, and all the vegetation that's down there in the deep water. I really had no idea.
Is it available for public viewing somewhere?
I believe it's on the HLF
Okay.
website. Coming up, there is another seminar that HLF is putting on. It's entitled Green Belt Seminar. It's about native plants that thrive in our area and are actually consume nutrients before it gets into the water. And that's coming up on Friday, July 25th from 10 a.m. to 11:30. And it's at the McMullen Conference Center. You can contact the HLF to reserve a seat.
What time is it?
From 10 a.m. to 11:30 on July 25th. That's a Friday. Any other questions or comments? I move to adjourn.
Second.
Jack seconds.
Second.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.